Magnet fruit eaten by Eustace Kid. This fruit lets him control magnetic forces. He uses it to pull metal toward him, build mech-like arms, and fire railgun-style attacks. After awakening, Kid can magnetize other people, not just objects. This makes enemies attract metal unwillingly, ruining their movement and defense. He uses this to trap enemies in giant magnetic fields and crash massive metal constructs into them. Awakening drastically boosts his battlefield control and turns his enemies into literal magnets. Ope Nomi. Ope Nomi was eaten by Trafalgar Law, turning him into a surgical human. It allows him to create a room within which he can freely manipulate anything, cut without killing, swap personalities. Upon awakening, Law's room-based powers extend outside his typical dome. He can perform anesthesia, coating his sword in a special energy that bypasses durability, and puncture vila, a move where he stabs through the earth itself with a space-rending attack. Awakening gives him longer range, more precision, and insane internal damage potential. Ito Nomi. Ito Nomi was eaten by Don Quixote Doflamingo, which turned him into a string human. This fruit allows him to create and manipulate razor-sharp strings from his body. Doflamingo uses this fruit to fly by attaching strings to clouds, control people like puppets, and create deadly whips and cages. Upon awakening, Doflamingo gained the ability to turn his surroundings into strings, drastically increasing his attack range and versatility. He uses this to launch massive string-based slashes and even reconstruct organs inside his body using string to stay alive after lethal injuries. Mochi Nomi. Mochi Nomi was eaten by Charlotte Katakuri, turning him into a mochi human. This fruit allows him to create, control, and become mochi. Katakuri uses this to launch powerful punches, stretch his limbs, and trap opponents in sticky mochi. He often hardens the mochi with haki. After awakening, Katakuri can turn his surroundings into mochi, making his attacks inescapable and turning the battlefield into his weapon. This makes his already overwhelming close-range combat even more deadly. Unknown Jail Fruit, used by Minotaur and other impel-down jailer beasts. These fruits are all Zoan types. While the names are not confirmed, all of them exhibit signs of awakened Zoan abilities. They're extremely durable, recover from damage rapidly, and have endless stamina. Despite being basically brain-dead, they attack relentlessly. Their hybrid forms are always active and much larger than regular Zoans, hinting that awakening for Zoans boosts strength, stamina, and recovery massively. Neko Nomi was eaten by Luchi, which turned him into a human leopard hybrid. This Zoan-type fruit gave him enhanced strength, speed, and animal instincts. He mainly uses it to boost his Rokushiki techniques like Shigan and Rankyaku. Upon awakening, Luchi's hybrid form changes. He becomes slimmer, taller, and a black flame-like mane appears along his back and arms. He also unlocks Seimei Kikan, a technique that lets him manipulate his body freely. Luchi often uses this to compress himself into a more human-sized form, making him faster, more precise, and harder to hit. Ushi no Mi, model, giraffe. Ushi no Mi was eaten by Kaku, which turned him into a human-giraffe hybrid. This fruit lets him transform parts or all of his body into a giraffe, and he uses his long neck and limbs to create unpredictable attacks like Rankyaku Amanadachi. After awakening, Kaku's hybrid form changes. His size increases, his body gets more refined and agile, and like Luchi, he gains a flaming mane-like pattern across his back and arms. His awakened state gives him greater speed, strength, and allows his Rokushiki techniques to hit harder and faster, using both his giraffe limbs and his swordsmanship. Hito Nomi model, Nika. This fruit was eaten by Monkey D. Luffy, originally thought to be Gomu Nomi, turning him into a rubber human, but it's actually a mythical zone that makes him the sun god Nika. This fruit allows him to stretch, inflate, and bounce like rubber. After awakening, Luffy enters Gear 5, where he gains insane cartoon-like powers. He can reshape his surroundings like rubber, manipulate matter in wild ways, and even alter his appearance freely. He mostly uses this form to unleash chaotic, physics-defying moves that break reality, literally turning the fight into a Looney Tunes episode with god-tier power. Gyaku Nomi. Mythical Zone eaten by 5 elders. Each of the 5 elders has eaten a Mythical Zone-type devil fruit, and all of them have awakened forms by default since Mythical Zones often awaken faster. Saturn ate a fruit that turns him into an Ushi Oni, a Japanese yokai. His awakened form is massive, with spider-like legs, horns, and powerful regenerative abilities. He can use paralysis-based powers, summon magic circles, and is nearly unkillable. The others haven't been fully named yet, but they each have terrifying, awakened yokai forms. One becomes a giant bird-like tengu, another a boar-like monster, one resembles a hulking ogre, and another is a long-headed beast with horns and flames.